Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is JosephDiego DiaMante. Welcoming you back again to JosephDiego.com, your source for online home business tips, tricks, marketing strategies, and lead generating strategies. Now, if you guys by chance saw my video that's going to be on, well, today for yesterday, this is my second video today, and I'm still in my workout clothes. Like I told you guys, I treat this like a business. I work harder on my business than I did at my job. But even though I still work at home, I don't hang out like this. I get up and I get dressed like a regular job. I mean, I don't wear a suit, but I get dressed like I'm going to work, like I go to a regular job, because I treat this as one of the most important things in my life. And it's a suggestion to you. But that's not what my topic is today. And honestly, I don't know what my topic is today. But I want you to stick around, because I know that it's going to definitely help and benefit you if you listen to my story over here. And again, why am I like this? And I didn't get changed from this morning. And it's only not even 11 o'clock yet. It's 10:48. Because I got stuck in work. After I made the video that was prior to this one, I wrote an article. And this is the article which is the inspiration for me sharing this with you. Now, my article was titled, "My Online Home Business, How Do I Know That I'm Going to Succeed?" And that's what I want to share, the importance of this story with you. And I hope, because I'm sure you guys have done the same thing. And I know that you can succeed also. That's the important thing, that you have to know that you're going to do this. But you also have to have a couple of other things to add into your formula of success. Now, how do I know that I'm going to succeed? I've done it before. And I've had many other prior achievements that I've done it. And I did the same thing way back then that I'm doing now. And the things that I didn't succeed in, it's because I didn't do what I'm doing now. It's very simple. Or if I did succeed in them, I tried them for such a long time. Like, there's one thing, and I have to, I don't know how many of you guys know, but I battled with addictions for most of my life. I was raised up, and I battled with addictions for most of my life. And people kept telling me, you might have a problem. I'm like, I don't have a problem. And I didn't do it. I didn't do what they told me to do. I didn't want to hear it. But then what I did, what I'm going to expose you guys to, wow, I'm free, and I have a wonderful life. So it's the same thing, but I want to share it with something else that I did earlier on in my life. So listen up. Now, this happened when I was a kid, and I was a young kid in the Bronx, and I was born and raised in the ghettos. And my mother didn't have much money. My father was in Sing Sing, so he didn't make a good salary sitting in jail. And my mother was the only one who supported me. And she always made sure that we didn't live on welfare. So we had a nice apartment. But she didn't have much money to give me and to buy me things all the time. Even though she did try her best. Between her and Grandma, they were wonderful. But I always wanted a skateboard. For some reason, and I still remember the store on 167th Street and Ogden Avenue, that I used to look at this skateboard that I wanted. And I couldn't have it. My parents couldn't buy it for me. So I remembered that I had an old pair of roller skates sitting in the closet. The old adjustable ones that used to slide on your sneakers? For those of you who are pretty young, maybe you don't know, but they used to have they used to clip onto your sneakers, and they were adjustable, and you put a strap on, and they had a key on the bottom of them. Well, I remember I had those. So I went home, and I lived in the ghettos. So there was always a lot of lumber laying around, a lot of wood. We used to make go-karts and stuff like that. I found a piece of wood, some beat-up old nails. All right, if we had to pull them out, we took them out or whatever it was. I didn't have a hammer, so I remember I used to pull them out like this. And I didn't have a hammer, so what I had was a rock. And I made a skateboard. I took the roller skates apart, put them on both ends of the skate, of the piece of wood that I found, and I made a skateboard. And I used to live on a hill. And I remember riding up and down that hill, and you know, that was it, all right? And looking back at where I lived in those days, which was Anderson Avenue, I must have been in the 1st or 2nd grade, so probably 6, 7 years old. And I always kept on to my skateboarding. And I remember getting older, and I remember moving up from steel wheels to clay wheels. And now I was going to Catholic school, which was uptown. My mother would put me in, I went to Catholic school. I still lived in the Bronx, but my Catholic school was in 96th Street in Manhattan. So I used to go right uptown, and I was a little bit older then. I think I was in the 8th, 9th grade. I was in the 6th and 7th grade. And I still skateboarded. But one day I went into Central Park, and those kids had nice skateboards. You know, they were a little bit of higher social standing than I was. They had nice skateboards. And I saw rubber wheels. I was like, wow, rubber! These are cool! And eventually, little by little, I built my own skateboard just like those kids. And now, every day I used to go into Central Park. I remember the summertime, I would hop on the train. And it was okay with my mother because she worked in the Mount Sinai Hospital, which was right across from Central Park. So my mother didn't care. And I'd get up real early, and I'd ride my skateboard to the train station, hop on the train, get off on 86th Street, I'd get off on 86th Street, and ride my skateboard to the Alice in Wonderland in Central Park. I don't know if you guys know where that is, but there's an out, and all the skateboarders used to meet there. And I hung out with those guys. Those guys became my friends. You know, I finally updated and I got the nice skateboard, which was a bunch of mismatched parts, but I had my ride. And I learned how to skate. They were doing flips and 360s and all kinds of fancy tricks and jumping on and off of curbs. But guys, the bottom line is that I surrounded myself with those kids. They became my friends, and I learned. And I remember one day, and that's where I met my best friend Danny. I was 15 years old. Danny and I were both 15 years old, and there was a tournament that they had hosted through the park. New York City's Parks Department had hosted a nice big tournament, and the tournament was in the Bronx. And I won first place. I was one of the best skateboarders in New York at the end, and at that age and everything like that. And I mean, there were guys that were better, but in the Bronx, I was the best skateboarder. I remember I was in the newspaper and everything. So now what does all of this have to do with a home business? All right, guys, it has a lot to do with it. Because what I did then are the same principles that I'm doing now, and I did it with my recovery, I did it with martial arts, I did it with my trade as a construction worker. What did I do? I had a desire. First things first was I had a desire to do this. All right? The same thing happened. It happened with the skateboard. It happened with karate. I had a desire to learn how to defend myself. Now, it's been a while. I'm Sensei Joe. I had a desire to sober up, and I surrounded myself with winners, okay? And I had a desire to move up financially and get out of my trade. And, all right, so first, the desire, all right, resourcefulness. I did whatever I took to do that. Now, how did I do this? Even though I had a full-time job, I did this part-time at night, and I studied. And then what did I do? I never gave up. I keep on trying, no matter if I had to work. I'd do it on weekends, and I'd never, ever, ever give up. Same thing with the skateboarding. Remember, I started when I was 6 or 7. I didn't get that trophy till I was 15. Now, then I sought leaders and people who were doing what I wanted to do. Top skateboarders. And I made connections with them, and I became their friends. They became my friends. And that stuff kind of rubbed off on me. And I just became one of them, to tell you the truth. I became one of them, a great skateboarder. I mean, what was it? David Brenner was there, and he used to throw me money. It was great. I mean, we used to meet a lot of, celebrities in Central Park. It was a lot of fun, but it's the same thing that's going on with my business. Today, I hang out with the top marketers online. I have a call in 11, so I got to finish this real quick. I connect myself with top marketers online. I do it every day. I go out the same way I used to ride the train into Manhattan. Well, I take flights to different parts of the country to hang out with these guys. You tell me, am I going to succeed at this? These guys teach me. They learn. I'm going to be on the call with them in 2 minutes, so I have to cut this quick. But I want you guys to understand, this is what you have to do. It's quick, it's simple, and it can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's a fact. With that, JosephDiego.com, JosephDiego.com. Take action. Click the links, find out more about what we do to achieve our goals. It's going to benefit you and your business and bring it up to a next level. With that, take care, God bless, and I'll see you on the road to success, and hopefully not in the same old clothes. This is Joseph Diego, signing out.